Hi everyone, welcome to another video of Azure Data Factory. So as part of our videos, we haven't seen what are the concepts we have, core concepts we have in Azure Data Factory. So as part of today's video, I'll be looking at all of them and I'll walk you through the different concepts we have in Azure Data Factory. Okay, so I have already created and uploaded a video about Azure, what is Azure Data Factory and what all we can do with Azure Data Factory. So I will go for suggesting the video. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the different core concepts we have in Azure Data Factory. So if you see Azure Data Factory, so Azure Data Factory is either a data integration service or data transformation service. It's not like data migration service is a correct one, but we may need to add the other word as data transformation service as well. Okay, so we can call it as a data integration services service or data migration service or data transformation service we have from Microsoft Azure. Okay, so it's a cloud-based SSIS and it helps you in solving the common data warehousing scenarios. So if we see the common data warehousing scenarios, so like moving your data from one place to other place, and while you move your data, you may have to clean and you may have to transform the data. So it's the same thing we are going to do with Azure Data Factory as well. Okay, so the core flow of execution we have in Azure Data Factory is pipeline. Okay, so the pipeline is nothing but, so when you are going for solving a common data integration or data transformation scenarios, you may have to connect multiple activities. Okay, so you may have to connect multiple activities like this for solving a common data warehousing scenario. So here if you see the different activities, I have set variable activity, I have to set some value to a variable, and that copy data activity is something that is going to connect to the data source, and it pulls the data to the destination. So once it gets completed, we are executing a stored procedure for logging some information. After that, we are going for sending out an email uh, notifying a team that so and so scenario has been completed. So and so scenario of data loading has been completed. So if you look at this pipeline, if this is nothing but chaining, logical chaining of all your activities for solving a specific data migration or data integration or data transformation scenario. Okay, so your pipeline is nothing but a solution for your data integration or data transformation scenario by having by chaining your activities. Okay, so this is a core concept we have in a data factory. So let's go ahead and look at the other concept activity. So if you look at the same pipeline here, so this is one activity and this is other activity and this is another activity and this is also another activity. So if you look at each activities, so each activity is capable of doing some sort of data transformation work. Okay, so if you see this one, you can move your data, copy your data from one table to another table. You can execute your store procedure. You can send out an email using your logic apps, whatever. The underlying technology might be different, but each activity is capable of doing some data transformation or data integration work. Okay, so when each activity is capable of doing some data warehousing work, right? When you combine the relevant activities, you will be creating a pipeline that solves the whole scenario of your data warehousing. Okay, so this is the activity. So let's go ahead and look at your data set. So it's a data set is nothing but all the columns that you want to bring, that you want to move across. Okay, so moving across means moving from a source to destination. So you data set defines table name. Okay, so when you say table name, all the columns in the table. When you say query, all the columns that that you take from the query. Okay, so it's simple, all the columns that you want to move across. So linked service is nothing but, as you know, linked service contains all the collection related information, like when you connect to Azure SQL database, so what is the server name and what is the database name, what is the username and password. Okay, so all this information it is going to contain in order to connect to the underlying data source, might be a destination or a source. Okay, so let's see what is an integration runtime. So when we are working with a cloud-based environments, we may need to connect to on-premises environments as well, right? So let's assume a scenario like you have your data in Azure SQL database and as well as in-house on-premises SQL server, and when you try to connect to your on-premises SQL server and Azure SQL database from your data factory may run in one environment, and one environment means one network. Your Azure SQL database may be in another network, and your on-premises SQL server is in different network. Okay, in order to have, in order to have a seamless data transform data movement between all these services, so we should need a kind of infrastructure to bridge all these network related issues. We need to, we need a kind of compute environment or infrastructure to solve all these network related problems. So okay, so that is going to be your integration runtime. So depends on the type of work that you are doing. Means if you connect to your on-premises environment, you may have to install self-hosted integration runtime. And if you connect to a cloud-based Azure SQL databases, Azure Data Factory by default comes with another integration runtime called Azure Integration Runtime. And if you want to execute your SSIS packages, you may have to have SSIS integration runtime. Okay, so depends on your requirement. You will be installing or you will be creating either any of them, and you will be able to move your data across from one place to one data source to other data source. Okay, so the other concept we have here is parameters. So parameters, as you know, it's a kind of configurable values that you want to, that you should be able to change their values when you move from one environment to other environment. Okay, so you will be able to change these values in Azure Data Factory from outside your pipeline. Okay, so variables, variables as how we are, how we are using the variables in any programming language. So the same story applicable here as well. So variable, we are going to use the variables for temporary purposes. Okay, so temporary for holding some stored procedure name when you are iterating through, when your for each loop is iterating. So you may have to have store it in store it in a variable, and you can use it for a different purposes. Okay, so triggers is nothing but executable. Once you complete creating a pipeline by using all these concepts, once you complete creating your pipeline with all these concepts, so the next thing is executing them to move your data from one place to other place. So you have to trigger your pipeline either in manually, or you can schedule it for executing Monday to, daily, every day at 10 a.m. or every day at 5 p.m. or every day at 11 a.m. whatever the time that suits your business. Okay, so that is a schedule based triggering your pipeline. If you want to event based triggering, also possible in Data Factory, like when your Azure Blob Storage has been uploaded with a new file, then based on that event, you may go for triggering your pipeline. Okay, so this is all about the different core concepts we have in Azure Data Factory. I hope you have enjoyed this video. So please do subscribe, like, and share my videos. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.